Welcome everybody to your E3 countdown. It begins in 47 minutes. The magical time of year where we all get presents and we get to open them.
Merry E3!
Merry E3 Mass, everybody!
Oh.
We're gonna kick it off with electronic arts, or as I said on Twitter, erectronic farts. They haven't got a great track record, but yeah, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe something great will happen. Maybe a miracle will happen.
They lost E3 last year.
In the background here, we got the amazing music of She Music. Go check it out. It's this particular album is somebody posted. It's not Atomic and it's not Color Iris, but anyways, Becky's got her charts. Let's see what she got. Tell me what you got. What do you got?
All right. So last year, this is where E3 sat.
That's where EA sat?
Or EA sat,
Sort of all the stuff, like it's the smallest blue bar on the very left?
Yeah, we didn't track it for 2016 because Sony just killed it.
Ubisoft is on the very left?
This is EA in 2015.
So the big bar is Ubisoft on your guy's left. And the very right is EA, which didn't even get like a blip, according to Becky's point system.
Which is a super fucked up sort of point system.
I'm not even I don't even agree with a lot of her points. But
I stand by my points. So
it's just I feel like your points aren't weighted properly. Like you've given points and it's great. You can attribute them here and there.
Yeah.
You've like compartmentalized them and all these different things. But like in my opinion, some of these things deserve more weight than others.
Is it a humble opinion?
A humble opinion?
Yes.
I don't know. Are you humble?
I don't know. So my point system is like, is the game a surprise? Is there gameplay? Is the gameplay impressive? Is it coming out in the next 18 months? Are fans anticipating it? Is it exclusive to the system? Is it new to the IP?
Here's my problem with your system. Because you attribute...
It's not a yes or no system.
Yes, but because... I know, and you have points. But, but because you attribute points to every game based on those factors, pure attrition can win a conference.
You divide it by the number
of... Oh, you do divide it?
Yeah.
Okay.
By the number of games.
By the number of games.
Yeah. And then there's additional points down here. Did they have entertaining presentations? Did you get excited for gaming? Is it their first conference? Did they do anything completely innovative? Did the presenters call out any elephants in the room? And did the presentation stay on topic? Also points for not being late.
Here's another thing. So they get points for calling out an elephant in a room. So in other words,
there has to be an elephant in the room?
So a company gets like punished for not having an elephant to address?
Good point. Yeah, they do. Huh?
Shouldn't you just like have a side bonus category that's just a bonus point for thing? So we toss a bonus point when we think it's deserved based on things
and
like...
And minus points if they're late.
Right. Oh yeah, okay. Okay.
Maybe that's a good point.
I don't know.
Sure, alright. Points for not having an elephant, alright.
So... Now that we've described the point system, I guess we should discuss some things like what we expectations going into this year. Like what are we, just fucking with my green screen here.
EA specifically.
You want to talk about EA specifically? Yeah, that makes sense. Like
because we generally do these before each conference, right?
Agreed. All right, so let's...
Sports! All right, in the past, do you want to know what we've seen? So in 2015, Mass Effect Andromeda.
That just reminded me of the character named Andromeda on Kimmy Schmidt.
There's a character named Andromeda?
Yeah, the black guy.
That's not his name.
Yeah, Andromedon.
Andromedon?
Yeah. Anyways, doesn't matter. Titus Andromedon.
Wow, I didn't realize that was his last name.
Yeah.
But it totally is. Star Wars: The Old Republic, Unravel was very surprising.
Yeah, EA's been like getting some extra bonus points for some smaller titles that they've been incubating in their system these days. Is this you've gone back to 2015?
2015, yeah, and then like sports, Mirror's Edge. 2016 Mass Effect Andromeda again. Oh, V or whatever it was called. Battlefield 1, FIFA 17, Star Wars, Titanfall, Madden.
Here,
Let me
before we let's segment this, and I want to before we talk about EA. We have 42 fucking minutes. I don't want to talk about EA for that long.
Me
I want to talk
neither.
about general
Yeah,
EA
okay.
wishes, and we'll segment
wait,
that.
But they also did OAO last year.
All right.
I'm done.
I'm gonna put it on my logo, and then we'll come back and talk about EA in general.
Okay.
I mean, Electronic Arts and E3 in general. Fuck. Okay. Hey, buddies, welcome to back. We're just gonna before we start. EA is about to begin their conference, but we're gonna just discuss some predictions and/or wish list. As far as
I want a dinosaur VR game, please.
dinosaur VR game, there you go. So based on the hit show Dinosaurs from back Jim Henson production.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs, and it has to be VR specifically. Okay.
Yeah, so you can really get right up and like, not the mama, not the baby, not the baby.
No, it's not the mama.
Not the mama?
You had it right. Clearly a big fan here of dinosaurs.
I wasn't a big fan of dinosaurs when I was
Can you
little.
tuck your cord
Too
in
real,
so
man.
it's not there?
Too real.
And yeah. All right. So, anyways, as far as predictions go, this is really hard. My track record has been getting worse and worse. It used to be kind of good, but these days I feel like my wishes outweigh my ability to predict.
Right.
I have these desires to see certain things, so I just predict them, hoping that they'll come true. And that's,
Yeah.
I think, what's been really ruining me for the last couple of years of predictions.
Aww.
So this year, if I'm seriously predicting what I think, and here's the other problem with my predictions is I don't keep up with game news, so I don't know what developers have said.
Right.
I don't have that benefit. I'm only going with my gut and my heart,
Aww.
sort of
A little crash heart.
we do know that we've heard developers talk about the gaming cycle, the development cycle, and that if we want to just talk about consoles to start here, we know that Sony has said that they believe in a true blue generational cycle and no incremental updates, as was rumored for a
Yeah.
while, that with this Pro and the Xbox One X that we might see this slow over time, just now the Xbox One X2 and the Pro Plus, and that over time the system would never truly be a new one released, but Sony's made it very clear they want to make a PS5.
Yeah.
And then Digital Foundry's done some cool things where they talked about they broke it down to suppliers and chips and the likelihood of what chips would be used, and then they looked at who's even in line, other companies cell phone manufacturers and stuff that are in line for those companies that produce the chips, the actual factories themselves, and who's put in orders already, and who's
wow.
and
How
he's
did he get that information?
he reads a lot of tech blogs, or probably you probably have some insider stuff, but also probably just read stuff that isn't just gaming news.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to make accurate predictions. That way the Digital Foundry guys are so good.
Right.
And so he was taking the grand whole encompassing, I guess current state of electronics manufacturers in general. And he was saying that it's impossible that we would see one this holiday season.
That's wild.
A new system. That's impossible.
Oh, okay. We wouldn't see one.
That it would be impossible for a new system to come up by this holiday.
Okay. I was thinking 2020.
But that it is feasible, potentially 2019 is a feasibility, that a new system could be released, and that in the trajectory of the roadmap.
That actually makes more sense.
He was saying he was also taking into you should see his video, because he was also taking into account what the price of the chips would be based on how the console manufacturers also to, not only do they have to become available to them, but then they need time to customize them, because they like to make custom versions of these chips usually.
Right. PS5 won't arrive until
Did they actually say that?
2021,
When did they
Sony
say that?
says.
When did this quote come out? Because this
I was
Digital
thinking
Foundry video I'm
2020.
talking about was published maybe about 3 weeks ago.
Like a month ago?
So why would he not talk about that in that video that he did? This must have come out after that video. Maybe I watched it longer ago. It doesn't matter. So they said that a month ago. Tell me exactly when they said it. I want to know exactly when he said it. And who said it? Was it Mark Cerny? The other exciting thing is Mark Cerny is currently on the road again, which typically means that he's gearing up. At the very least, we know that like from the day they released the PS4, they're developing the PS5. So it's always been in development. Like that's how R&D works. But we also know that like in the past, he started hitting the road and talking to developers within like I think a year of the announcement of the PS4, which was that spring event that they did.
Okay.
And now he's on the road again. So people are predicting that we might next spring see the PS5 introduced pre-E3.
Oh.
And that E3 next year we might see the PS5 features talked about with until you guys told me that
next year they could start doing gameplay.
I guess, but
teasers.
Until they told me that 2021 was what they're aiming for.
You know what? I don't think someone else in there said they didn't say exactly that. They said that the lifespan of the PS4 is like another 3 years.
Oh, so you're basing it off that?
Different.
That's way different. The PlayStation 2's lifespan lasted into the PlayStation 3, like 5 years into the PS3's lifespan. All right, that's completely different. I thought that was a little ridiculous, but I was, once again, trusting you guys.
Well, I don't know what... I don't know who to trust.
Whoever wrote it said, put in quotes, and said 2000, put will last until, or like...
PS5 dev kits are apparently out.
Yeah, like, all right, whatever. All right, I have to learn my fucking lesson about getting information from you guys. What I will give to you is the information I got. And for me, the only information I have is based on that Digital Foundry video. And it was really cool seeing him think through it and explain his reasonings for where he thought the trajectory was.
Yeah.
So this year, no, which is like, you know, the chances of that were already low. Even though there were a couple guys, some guys with good track records were saying that it could happen this year.
Right.
Some guys with really good track records were saying that it could happen this year. But that's unlikely. I think 2019, because I hope for it, and I think that that's, like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Based on, again, the way he said that Mark Cerny is doing this current road trip, going to all these places, doing all these talks, and that was like last year, it was 1 year before they announced the PS4, and then
like tracking what Cerny's doing.
Just his methods, like, you know. He's also been chatting a lot lately, like really talking up the next generation and stuff. Anyways.
I totally think 2020. I feel like I've been saying 2020 for a while.
This is also just ends up being just a big rehash of what I heard on Digital Foundry. But another good point he made was that this year, that like not only does like in the current climate of consoles, they'll have no choice, Xbox, to follow suit with PlayStation and release very close to them, but that the next generation more than any other will converge on chips. Like both will be based on the exact same chips and stuff. I don't know why his reason was that, but he said that like there's no other options or something. Basically both systems, his prediction was the next two systems, Xbox and PlayStation, will be the exact same chip.
Yeah.
And that there just because of the like current climate.
I don't want a PS5 unless it's backwards compatible with the PS4.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the other point he made was, of course, like it's the secret sauce that they put in that really makes the consoles stand apart, though, even if they are going to be the same chip.
Right.
Anyways, I thought that was interesting. So this year, I guess that's a long way of saying we don't. I don't expect to see them announce a new system, based on what I've read.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they'll even
tease.
I don't think so. I could see, like, if they talk on stage, making just a little nod about the future.
Yeah.
Or something, just saying, like, you know, going into the future and, like, we'll be groundbreaking into even more crazy, you know, powerful gaming horizons to come or something like that. I could see them just, like, a little poetic thing saying we're on the cusp of the next generation soon,
because
so get ready.
Right now, like, the games that are coming out for the PS4 are just, like, I feel like
they're late gen. They're that type of stuff that comes out at the end, right?
Like really quality content, really...
Last of Us came out near the end, and we're about to get another Last of Us. And I think you're going to hear that from them too. You're going to hear stuff like saying, like, here we are, you know, like really taking advantage of the system now. You're going to hear a lot of developers saying stuff like that. And I think that's indicative of, like, we're starting to move on.
Yeah.
Also, I think the other indicator was, I know we're only talking about PlayStation, but that's the only thing I've really read about. But the fact that a lot of Sony's in-house teams, I guess, are currently not working on anything for PlayStation 4, so that would just tell you that they're working on something for PlayStation 5,
Interesting.
potentially for launch or close to launch, and that would, like, if PlayStation 5 is to come out in the next 2 years, they better be working on games now for it. So, like, you know, I forget which studios specifically aren't currently working on anything new. Like, I think, what's Santa Monica currently working on? Like, and Japan Studios, what are those two working on? Anyways, so that's PlayStation. Who knows with Xbox? But yeah, somebody in there said Vita 2, and you said Vita 2.
I didn't say Vita 2, but Vita 2.
That would be a pretty epic announcement this year. That would be like, yeah, let's talk about like.
Well, some people have been predicting that the new system that Sony's thinking about will be similar to the Switch. So, is it a console? Is it a handheld system? Would that be like their Vita 2?
It's interesting. It's like, but the thing is, like, the two heavy hitters, Xbox and PlayStation, are all about raw power without going all the way to a custom-built PC where, you know, you get diminishing returns on your investment. They're about raw power for a subsidized high-value price, getting as much power for like a real, like that sweet spot price point. And if you go for a machine that's somehow trying to do compact plus, like, it just doesn't make sense to do, like, it makes sense for Nintendo, who's not going for that powerful wow factor of the next bleeding edge of technology. But it doesn't make as much sense for them to converge, in my opinion.
Right. Apparently, someone from Sony said that they wanted to delve into handheld systems again.
Oh, cool.
So,
I would love to see them go back, because I think PlayStation, like, Becky's favorite portable system is always the Vita.
It was solid. And you know what? I do like it better than the Switch.
It's smaller.
Yeah.
What else?
That's mainly
do you like
it's
it nice
smaller
and small,
lighter, yeah.
Compact and light, yeah. The Switch isn't super light.
No.
It's nice and light, but it's not super light. Not like the Vita was.
I love it and play it a lot.
The Vita was like, felt lighter than an iPhone, like an iPhone 7 Plus or something. Like, it was so light.
Yeah. But it doesn't have Zelda.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I would like to see them make something, but in today's climate too, again, when everybody has a powerful phone. What is this? Oh, it sounds like they've just started. I thought it was like, that's a weird song. We'll mute this. They got their half-hour pre-show outside there in sunny Los Angeles.
Cold.
Anyways, isn't it kind of weird in today's climate to imagine a portable system? You got your phone, and then you, like, I mean, we can see the Switch. Yeah, it's a portable system, but it's also a console, so it makes sort of sense to have this thing. But to imagine having, like, if we're thinking about a Sony portable, you picture it being more compact than the Switch, and it's just so odd to have this and this in your hand and go, like, it's like, what I want is a phone that does amazing gaming.
Yeah.
And they're powerful enough to do it too.
That's true.
Yeah, maybe not weird for Japan. But it's crazy because our phones are so powerful, but, like, none of the phone makers are making...
Sony does phones, right?
Eh?
Sony does phones?
Yeah, they do. Xperia was their main line, but they're not one of the heavy hitters. They're not like Samsung and, like,
I'm just wondering if
Apple.
they would try to do something like that.
That's happened in the past. We had the... what was the name of the Nokia... the Nokia... whatever... Engage.
Okay.
They had there was also a PlayStation phone, I remember. Yeah, there was some, like...
Okay, so... Alright, maybe not.
It's just crazy how powerful phones are, and yet, like, none of the phone companies have, like... You can, like, we've seen some phone manufacturers make some different experiences and some pretty powerful looking games, like that one game where you're a knight and, like, it had really good graphics. It was made in Unreal Engine, and, like, people were really impressed by the graphics, but it wasn't like a handheld experience. It was kind of like, it was still a swipey thing, and, like, it just seems like such a waste not to make that into a gaming machine somehow.
Yeah.
but nobody wants a bulkier phone, which is required for controllers.
Fucking right, I don't.
And also nobody wants to walk around with a controller peripheral to plug onto your phone.
Yeah.
Do they? I don't know. Anyways, that's why I'm just saying it's kind of weird to picture a Vita in today's world. Would it be successful or not? Is it worth their time?
Yeah.
Like, do they make enough from selling indie titles to make it worth creating another system again, a portable system? Because that's predominantly, I think, what people play on it is.
Do we want to talk about specific games?
All right, so like, yeah.
You were talking
what would
about
make
Xbox.
what could happen this E3 to break E3? A new system announcement, whether it be a console, unlikely, but true that it would break E3 to make an announcement of a new system. Let's put that in the unlikely category. Announcing a new handheld system, Vita, that would probably be the next thing that could be like make the biggest news. A new system's coming. It's handheld, but it's a new system.
Yeah.
After that, what could be announced that could
Bully 2!
Nintendo VR?
Game Boy 2?
Half-Life 3 and Portal 3 would be about the only games that could break E3 better than a system, I think.
Yeah.
So you guys have nothing non-game related to sort of...
New Nintendo Joy-Cons, new controllers. I don't think that would
wouldn't break E3.
But
somebody said Nintendo getting into the VR space. That could potentially make a lot of news.
yeah.
Let's think of pie in the sky stuff. Xbox getting into VR. We did see Xbox talking a lot about their augmented reality in the past and showing Minecraft on a table, but they always just give this tiny little slot in their conference just saying it's still something that's out there.
Yeah.
But it's usually tied into Windows.
An Xbox handheld system?
An Xbox, there you go. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Let's talk about crazy scenarios.
Some sort of cloud bullshit.
Some cloud bullshit. There you go. But an Xbox handheld, I think unlikely, but who knows? Crazier things have happened. It would be interesting to see. It's so hard. It just feels so hard for companies to keep secrets these days. So it's unlikely that we'll get something crazy. Portable VR, a better VR experience. Would we potentially see
VR would be awesome.
PlayStation VR 2.0 come from Sony? A lighter headset, a more comfortable headset, a higher resolution headset, or well, they can't do higher resolution because the system's already being stretched to its limits. But a PS Xbox hybrid console, right? PlayStation Labo, nice. Somebody said something about former Valve executive something. Was that a real rumor?
Half-Life 3 is never happening. That whole thing.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Unless they sell the IP. That could happen. Maybe the IP would one day get transferred to another company and get created.
That would be a big fucking deal, for sure. Making a prediction, we'll see very little hardware this year.
PlayStation and Xbox crossplay. That is one thing where PlayStation gets negative points.
Absolutely.
They've been the bad guy when it comes to allowing systems to intermingle in multiplayer. We don't know why, because it's odd when Nintendo seems to be more likely to do it than PlayStation.
That's interesting. Switch Mini.
Switch Mini. Yeah, that is something we pretty much predicted from day one of the Switch. How long has the Switch been out? What are you looking for?
I was looking for the Switch, but it's inside. So just gonna look at the size of it.
A Switch Mini, I think definitely there's a market for that. I think a lot of people would like a lighter, smaller Switch.
Yeah. GameCube Classic, because they're doing they did the NES, SNES.
Right. Would E3 be the place to announce it? I don't think they've announced any of the mini systems at E3, and I don't think it is the place to do it. I think it's a bad place to do it, in my opinion.
It deserves a spot on its own, like Nintendo Direct or something?
Anyways, yeah, I think that's usually how they announce it, but alright, so outside of those kind of crazy, the cloud bullshit, it's funny because Ubisoft, Yves Guillemot just said recently that he believes the future of gaming is cloud-based gaming.
But didn't he say the console after the next? Or did
he said it's future. He didn't say when, I don't think. He just said future someday. We are no longer going to buy these bulky machines. Well, maybe I can stop him right there and say they just won't be bulky, so don't worry, Geeves. Like, they'll
Yeah.
be small and nobody will even... But he thinks that the most powerful machines will be in the cloud, that you'll leave it to the big companies to keep the machines at their place.
Just at one more generation.
And the internet will be so good everywhere that everybody will be fine with just hooking in and playing a system with zero latency over the internet. Unfortunately, the internet probably won't be perfect everywhere, even in a decade. There'll be so many places where it's still shitty.
Like tiny Ontario.
Cities, like major cities, you're gonna get to the point where you have internet so good that would be something you would like, probably. Like, I don't want to buy that machine. I'll fucking...
Yeah.
Especially if they offer us something like, triple the power of what you'd usually get with a home console, and the reason they can do that is because they've got it and everybody's using it. Like, that idea, like, that's pretty cool.
Right.
The idea that we're gonna be playing... Anyways. So cloud bullshit. I like that you said this on cloud bullshit.
Yeah.
Totally a possibility. Game-wise, I think that everybody, like, I don't know if there's gonna be any surprises.
Smash!
A new Smash? Yeah, that should probably be.
Animal Crossing Switch. I am like,
Yeah, that's a possibility.
I am ready now.
And
I am ready.
We'll go into like more detail pre all of the other companies' conferences on this stuff. But like, just broad strokes here. Let's talk
Fire
about
Emblem.
surprises though. Would there be any surprises?
Cyberpunk. Okay, surprises.
Well, maybe we should actually get to our EA pre-show at this point and talk about what we're expecting
long do
today
we
from
have?
these guys.
We have 20 minutes. Can we talk about EA for 20 minutes?
Well, let's talk now really quickly then before we start. Then
Fallout 76.
let's talk.
Kingdom Hearts.
Maybe we should talk about Wishlist then. And here's where you can get crazy, I guess. Is like
Bully 2.
Bully 2? Sure. Rockstar showing up at all? That's great.
Oh yeah.
Not gonna
I do
happen,
this every
but
fucking year.
would love to see that. Sure.
Borderlands 3.
Dreams 2. Yeah. There we go.
More Dreams stuff. Cyberpunk 2077. A lot of people are predicting. Like,
And
actually seeing something for that.
That is CD Projekt Red, who does Witcher and rarely shows up to say anything at E3.
Really?
Sometimes they show up on somebody's stage, but we'll see. That's
Maybe
a possibility.
The Spider-Man stuff. I just want that to come out.
Yeah, I don't want to see anything. I don't want to see...
Doom 2?
I can tell you that's something... Oh, that would be cool.
one,
That's
Rudy.
something I don't want to see at all is... And I know I'm going to be wrong on this, but I would love it if they just stop talking about games that... I hate it when an E3 press conference wastes time talking about a thing that has just come out
Oh yeah, me too.
or a thing that's going to come out in a month or two.
Yeah.
Fucking, I don't care. Tell me about the future today.
Yeah.
I'm here for the future, not for your shit that's coming out in a couple months.
Starfield. I don't know what that is. Overwatch 2. Weird. Fallout Shelter 2. Pokemon Snap.
No Man's Sky 2. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Diablo 4. Teaser for Dragon Age 4.
So
Bloodborne 2.
I am definitely today, I would be hoping so much today that EA will say something Dragon Age. At least a tease for a future Dragon Age. With Andromeda, I guess we're talking about EA right now. I don't give a shit. With Andromeda, they teased Andromeda 2 years ahead. There's 1 year, I think it was 2 years ago.
Yes.
Now it's 3 years ago. But
Yep.
like,
2015.
they released an extremely tiny teaser. Then
Yep.
the next year, they released another teaser
Yep.
where they showed a tiny bit of gameplay, but mostly they just showed interviews with developers. And then the final year, they finally showed like some gameplay and like a trailer, and then they released it.
Yeah.
So like, I would say we might see a tease today for like a title tease, like a title drop
Right.
for Dragon Age.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah,
And then you think it would be out in like,
3 years
yeah. Oh,
if we're lucky. But
a new Bioshock. Someone said Rhythm Heaven Fever.
a new Bioshock, it would have to be by another company, and the company that made Bioshock originally actually has a game coming. because Levine is doing different stuff now, right? Like he's moved on.
Ghost Trick 2?
Sure.
Burnout Paradise 2?
Not gonna happen. Burnout Paradise 2 did come out already. It's called Need for Speed Shit Edition, and then Need for Speed Shit Edition 2. Burnout Paradise is dead because EA bought them and has decided to never release Burnout again. Like they're basically they made Need for Speed into Burnout Paradise.
Elite Beat Agents 2? Ostap Wendan?
Sure, that would never be announced here. None of these games would be announced. Ace Attorney, none of that would be announced here.
Ace Attorney might be, no?
Never would. I don't think it would ever be announced here. Nintendo wouldn't give it a spot.
Maybe.
All of the Ace Attorney games get released in Japan first. They get announced on their shit, and then like it gets translated, and then it gets released here with a very minor announcement. Oh, hey, we translated it now. Here it goes. That's how it's always done.
Binding of Isaac 2. Oh, some Binding of Isaac stuff. Oh, my heart.
Mario Odyssey 2 already, eh? Give me Mario Galaxy 3 on the Switch.
Earthbound Endings. Elder Scrolls 6.
These are some interesting things. PlayStation Home 2. Yeah, sure, let's do it.
A new Zelda?
No, that will
I don't think
not at all.
so.
That's definitely.
It's too
However, how about like a small Zelda game? Something like because we get major Zelda games all the time, but in the past, then usually there's a portable Zelda. Yet now we have a system that's portable, and so like will
like
Nintendo?
A Four Swords type of like.
So because these two worlds have converged, does that mean we've lost the portable Zeldas, or will will Nintendo continue to make minor Zelda experiences?
Mario Strikers.
I would like to see that Zelda, a small Zelda game, a pixelated Zelda game, or something that's just a lighter experience.
Like Link to the Past.
Yeah.
Overcooked 2. God, Overcooked is so good.
15 minutes.
Rainbow Six Siege 2. Isn't Rainbow Six Siege still kind of rocking it though? Like they have their tournaments and stuff.
The Legend of Bumbo. You're just making up titles of things you want to see? You're just making up new IP?
Yeah, just random.
I want to see a game called The Legend of Bumbo.
What about a new GoldenEye? A new GoldenEye.
Ben Wallet's a new GoldenEye? Wow, that's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't that happen?
Oh, Bumbo from Isaac. Oh yeah, they have
okay.
They do have some Isaac.
I thought you just made up a name. Like,
me too.
I want The Legend of Bumbo. Yeah, I told you to stop talking to Bumbo. He's real.
I swear. He's the one that poops on the ground all the time. It's not me. It's Bumbo.
But I am the one who smears it.
It's a team effort. Ooh,
a new Donkey Kong. Yes, please.
Good
but
one,
didn't they just announce they're moving Tropical Freeze over to the Switch?
They did. But come on.
And for that reason, that's why I was so negative when I saw like Mario Kart coming to the Switch and all these all these Wii U failures, like or things that were on a failed system coming over and being like, hey, it's a Switch release. It's just forget that it was released over there. This is a new game on the Switch. And it's like, it's one thing everybody's like saying like, well, I'm just glad to have it on Switch. Yeah, sure, that's great. But what I fear is that it means that Nintendo's going to be a bit lazy and be like, well, now we don't, let's move that timeline along, because now it feels like that was the real release. And now we're not going to see a new Donkey Kong for 5 years, and we're not going to see a new Mario Kart till the end of the Switch's life.
Yeah.
That's what I fear.
Yeah.
You think Mario Kart 9 might happen though?
Ooh.
We'll see. I would love it, but
that.
I just feel like, again, what I just said. That's what I feel might
Conker's
happen.
Bad Fur Day.
Nobody wants to see that.
Another one. Quite a few people.
And then there's all the Ubisoft IPs. Who knows what they'll do this year? Will they surprise us? I know that there was like a title spoiler release of Ubisoft Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, just the title. People speculating that it'll actually have to do with Homer's Odyssey, which is pretty cool. Odysseus.
Interesting.
I think that was speculation anyways.
Watch Dogs 3. Assassin's Creed on Switch. Luigi something.
How about this?
Luigi.
Let's just, before we like wrap up here and get started, we have 12 minutes. How about fucking, what about, we were talking about Cyberpunk? let's talk about other things that have died, that we haven't seen in forever, that we'd like to see.
Star Wars 13.
What is the
13.
Star Wars? That's not ever coming out. Whatever happened to Deep Down? Where's that?
Yeah, they confirmed that it's like, yeah, guys.
What other games are like?
Dead Island 2.
There's a Squeenix thing, and that's the Final Fantasy VII remake. We might see something from that, some gameplay.
The copyright got renewed?
Did it? So they're still working on it? Because Deep Down excited me.
Yeah. Half-Life 3, Portal 3.
We happy. Let's talk about the other, like, the bigger stuff, like Vaporware. I guess that's the main one. I think it's the primary one. Oh, Beautiful Joe, I haven't heard about in a long time.
Yeah, good call, Jacob.
That would be beautiful on the Switch.
God, that game was so cool.
How about just a Wonderful 101 sequel, an underrated game that even I am guilty of playing,
You
not giving
wanted
its
to get
due.
back to
I
it,
really
but-
wanted to get back to it.
F-Zero, Pikmin 4, Crackdown 3, which is being pushed.
A new Wave Racer,
New Okami.
Last Guardian Shenmue, Little Big Planet 4. Well, that's a possibility.
yeah.
It wouldn't be made by Media Molecule, but what Little Big Planet has lately.
The Beautiful Joe team is just sort of dissolved, and it's now Platinum Games.
Somebody said that
Accounting too.
Deep Down was actually finished but previewed horribly. I didn't hear that, but I do know that Deep Down was far along. Like, they were showing gameplay at things and stuff, and it looked great. It looked like a Dragon's Dogma type game or
Oh, sorry, I meant Deep Down was Vaporware.
a new Devil
Got
May
ya.
Cry game. Crackdown is
Crackdown.
going to be pushed in the future. I don't think anybody really cried themselves to sleep over that one. All right, we've got minutes to go here.
Ooh, LA Noire 2.
I would love that, but
Put it on
is
Patrick.
I think that actually is rumored to happen because I think somebody saw a copyright.
Saints Row.
A new Saints Row. I think it's actually been enough time that I might be ready for a new Saints Row.
Oh man, Sunset
But they did that fucking
Overdrive.
thing. They did that fucking thing, Agents or whatever.
Oh,
That like
yeah.
used
I
was
don't
like
know if
Saints
they'll-
Row, but like lost all of the Saints Row charm.
Yeah.
Like where the
System Shock remake.
whoa? Show me a teaser for Civ 6. Wait, have they done that? No, they haven't. I think the final DLC has been released for Civ 5, right? Has there been any chatter about a new Civ?
I feel like it might be too soon for that too.
Or Civ 6 is
7?
out. 7 is what I mean. Civ 7. It's funny because I barely played Civ 6. I played the
Yeah.
shit out of 5. Kind of played a little bit of 6, but like, I mean, give me a new one.
Fuck, dude.
What?
I got really excited about Animal Crossing Switch. I have not been ready for it. I really haven't been ready for it. But I feel like if it came out this holiday season, I could just sink my teeth right into that.
When am I gonna get a Switch? When do I get to have my own Switch?
You don't get your own Switch, we share a Switch.
Why can't I have a Switch so that I get to play my own Animal Crossing?
You can play your own Animal Crossing on our
Yeah,
Switch.
but this is the thing with Switch games. They're casual experiences that you pick up for a little bit, you just kind of derp around and then you put it back down.
Exactly. So
You
why
can't do that
would we
with a
have two
shared
different
console.
ones?
You have to have it has to be something that sits there and you pick up and you
You
play.
don't get your own Switch.
I want my own Switch.
No, I get something. I get something for once.
I love
You get-
Nintendo. I want my own Switch.
You get my hand-me-down Switch, then I'll get this Switch
Okay,
Mini
sure.
when it comes out.
All right, if you want that. So as soon as they release a new version of the Switch,
Fraser gets
I get
my
your old
hand-me-down.
Switch. All right, guys.
It has a scratch.
It does.
Not on the screen, but on the top, and it bothers me.
It does.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break here. I need a pee break, and we'll be back and ready to go in a little bit, guys. Stay tuned.